Good Sunday morning, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. Welcome to Sunday Morning Futures. I'm Maria Bartiromo.
Is there anything that you could look back on in 16 that you think maybe you want to do differently this time around?
Well, the mistakes would be that a lot of people, for instance, say you should have been softer. But I was under siege by people that were very dishonest. If I was soft, I wouldn't be talking to you right now. Believe me, I wouldn't have been able to finish out one of the most successful terms as president, to a point where it was so successful that I'm leading by 50 points right now. You know, I mean, that wouldn't have happened. The mistake would be people. I mean, I wouldn't have put a guy like Bill Barr in. He was weak and pathetic. I wouldn't have put Jeff Sessions in. There are some people that I wouldn't have put in. You know, most people were good. But I had some people, we had Esper, I didn't like him. He was incompetent, I thought. We had other people I didn't like.
Why did you put them in the job then?
Because every president, you put somebody in, you think they're good. But one thing that has happened, and I find it very interesting, and this is the way life goes, I put people in. I was there 17 times in Washington, D.C. in my whole life. Okay? I never stayed overnight. The press actually reported 17. I don't know if it's right, but it's probably pretty right. I never stayed overnight, ever. And then, all of a sudden, I'm the president of the United States. And it's like a different society. I was New York, and, you know, it was a different thing. So I didn't know people. I became president. I'm riding down Pennsylvania Avenue with our First Lady. I had 250 motorcycles. I had armies. I had everything. I said, do you believe it? We're president. Take a look. This is wild, right? But I never was involved in that. And
so you didn't know what to expect?
No, well, I didn't know the people. I know the people now better than anybody's ever known the people. I know the good ones, the bad ones, the dumb ones, the smart ones.
Well, you didn't drain the swamp like you said you would. You didn't drain the swamp.
I did. I fired Comey. I fired a lot of people. A lot of the people I fired. I fired Comey very early. And, you know, there was a question as to whether or not you could. But I fired Comey. If I didn't fire Comey, I don't think I would have been able to serve out my term, because that was a plot. And, you know, these other guys that are running, they think, oh, well, you know, they're going to go nice and smooth. No, they'll create phony stories on them. They'll create their own Russia. These people are sick. Guys like Adam Schiff, he's a sick person. I mean, he's really a sick. They make things up, and then you have to spend time getting out of it. They do it now.
But he may become a senator.
He may become. Isn't that a crazy thing? Well, maybe not. He's running against some people that are much better than him. He's a sick person. He made up a thing on Russia, and Ukraine, where he actually talked about my call with President Zelensky. He didn't know we had the call taped. Fortunately, it was taped. And he made up a speech. He made a speech in Congress about what my call was, where he was actually reading the speech of what I said. And then when I released it, I said, you know, we happen to have a tape of that. It was a total lie. I said he ought to be prosecuted for what he did. But when you go to Congress, believe it or not, you can say anything you want. You don't get prosecuted, and you can't get sued. And I think it's terrible. But, no, this guy's got, I mean, he's very sick people. Look, if they would use their evil genius to make America great again, it would be great.